Hello Doctor fans, welcome to another video. As you can see, I have one of the new B&M sets, and if you want to know, they are actually starting to appear in stores as of now. They are pretty sketchy still. The dark sets seem to be the most of the difficult of all the sets to get, so hopefully everyone will get all the sets they want. But on to this set. So, as you can see here, this is the 5 Doctor set, or technically specifically, it's the 5 Doctor set with the scene featuring the 3rd Doctor with the Raston Robot attacking the Cybermen. So technically it's a very specific scene set, so to speak. So this is the scene where the Raston Warrior Robot, which is here in the middle, attacks a platoon of Cybermen in the presence of the 3rd Doctor played by John Pertwee. The thing was, this was actually the first time John Pertwee ever met the Cybermen, and was actually the only classic Doctor in the classic era, excluding Paul McGann, that actually never met the Cybermen up until this point. So it's interesting that the only time he actually ever met the Cybermen was actually in a different era, which was obviously 1983, not actually during his tenure. But overall, starting with the Raston Robot figure in the middle, it's certainly one of my favourite. It's quite a smooth outline, maybe not as many creases as I would have liked, maybe a smoother body as seen in the actual episode. But I do like how they managed to get the actual hand details right as well, as you can see here. With the Raston Warrior Robot, it basically just shot steel arrows, so to speak, between its fingers. So I like how they've not just got like a hand painted silver, they've actually sculpted the hand specifically for this figure, not actually trying to scoot around, trying to pay more for the figure. But overall, it's certainly one of my favourite figures. I must admit, I'm really glad they've actually decided to bring this figure out. The detail is lovely, but apart from the creases in the outfit that I would like to smooth out, it's certainly one of my favourite figures. And the detail, even though it's just one figure, it's pretty much spot on. Or, like I said, apart from the creases in the outfit, I would like something different, maybe using a different body. But apart from that, it's certainly a nice figure to have, and it's actually not even a re-release. It's actually the first time this figure has actually ever been released. So onto the 3rd Doctor. As you can see, this is very similar to the one that I've seen in the Doctor Who and the Sea Devil set, but it's sort of a different coloured outfit. As you can see, the long coat is more of that sort of that tartan colour, well, tartan patterning as such. It's actually a very nice figure. I do like the detail, even though it's sort of a re-release figure with different colouring. I like how they've actually added all the additional details. It's different enough to make it not too noticeable, but I do like this figure. As you can see in the back as well, they've got all the nice detailing and the patterning. And I like how it's all smooth, it's not rough, and the patterning is all in place. There's no smudges on the paint or anything. So they've added all the detail in. It's a very nice figure, and again, it's another 3rd Doctor figure. So if you're John Pertwee, then again, this is one of your sets. So it's actually technically quite an iconic scene actually in this episode. So this episode was supposed to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Doctor Who, so 1963 to 1983. So this fell into the Peter Davison era. So they brought back as many actors as they could to basically appear in it. Apart from Tom Baker, who didn't want to do it at the time. So you had a lot of companions with different Doctors. So this episode actually brought back John Pertwee with Elizabeth Sladen, Sarah Jane Smith, for the first time since 1973. So it was 10 years since they last met as well. So it was actually a great episode. If you haven't watched it, then I'll certainly recommend it. It's an hour and a half long, so it's certainly a feature-length episode, but it's all one part. There's no part 1, part 2. It's all one single episode. So I'll certainly give it a watch. It's got basically everything you like in it: Dalek, Yeti, Master, and a lot of Cybermen. So speaking of Cybermen, here we have the final figure of this set, which is the Cyber Leader. And so this is actually, excluding the Silver Nemesis version, it's actually the first early 80s version of the Cyber Leader we've had. So we have the 80s Cyberman in a long time ago, back in I think 2010, where there was a wave of 6 individual classic figures that came out, and a classic Cyberman was amongst them. And this is actually the last time a design similar to the Earthshot Cyber Leader was actually released. Then BNN did release one in 2016, part of a Sontaran / Cyberman figure set. And then we also had the Corroded Cyberman, which was in the Perry and Corroded Cyberman set released by Forbidden Planet. So again, we've not actually had any closeness to the Urshock style Cyber Leader. So this is actually the first time again that this figure's actually been released. I'm surprised really because it's a simple variant, and I'm surprised I actually haven't decided to release it before. But the interesting thing with this set is it's a 50-50 split. So to who do not know, half the sets produced will contain this Cyber Leader figure, and the other 50% of sets will contain just a Cyberman from this story. So it's basically two different sets, but with a subtle variant figure inside both of them. So it's interesting idea from B&M to do two different lots of figures. They sell twice as quickly, obviously, but it's nice to actually have like the Cyber Leader figure for a change. But the Cyberman set is also good if you want to buy a lot of Cyberman figures, but it will mean you end up with a lot of Raston robots and a lot of John Pertwee figures. But overall, it's actually quite a bit different. So I'm not sure who has the original Urshock Cyberman, but the silver on this is not actually a glossy silver compared to the original release. This one actually has a bit more of a grey effect to it, so it's actually probably more has a hint of that Silver Nemesis collar suit rather than that kind of bright silver that was originally seen. So it's actually quite nice to see a bit more subtlety with it. As you can see, it still comes with the cyber gun as well, so it's nice to have this accessory added as well. It's a nice figure as well. They got the correct boots this time, seen as in Attack of the Cybermen and the Five Doctors. The big boots were only ever seen in Urshock and not actually in any story afterwards. So it's actually accurate towards that as well. One problem also with the Cyber Leader figure as well is as you can see, the mouth plate here is actually see-through, whilst a lot of the time in the story it's actually silver, or a light silver paint on top of it. So it's a shame they sort of missed that little sort of bit of accuracy out. But apart from that, it's pretty much 90% accurate. So apart from that, it's actually, again, another overall good figure. Like I said, apart from the map plate being obviously clear and silver, the Raston robot being more having creases in the outfit than on the screen, it's actually overall a nice figure set to have. I like how they've done pretty much all some of the most iconic characters from this episode. The problem is that I wish they actually changed the name of the Five Doctor set, because in the end it would have actually led to more sets being released, because obviously now it's just the Five Doctor set, not the Third Doctor Encounters set in the Five Doctors. So we could have actually had more of a variety, such as William Hartnell with the Grey Dalek. We could have had, again, Peter Amerson with the Anthony Ainley Master, and also a Cyberman as well. So we've got to left more of a variety, but what are you going to do? But overall, let me know if you've managed to get hold of any of the sets, and hopefully I'll be able to get some more of the sets, especially the dark sets. They do seem to be giving me the runaround at the moment. If not, then stock will slowly get around eventually. But in the end, I'll certainly recommend this set. It's certainly the most different, and it's probably going to be one of the quickest to go due to having a variant figure in it. And as we know, sets with variants, especially when it's a 50-50 split, will settle twice as quick. But it's certainly a figure set that I'd recommend because I do like the story. It comes with a variety of characters, and it comes with an all-new figure, the Raston Robot, as well. So there's quite a variety in the set overall. So I hope you enjoyed this video review, and if this is not the last set, then I'll be trying to keep getting as many as I can from B&M as possible. Unfortunately, they seem to be struggling to get them, but hopefully I'll have some more figure reviews coming from myself very soon. If not, then I'll definitely be doing more figure reviews in the new year, especially with the now confirmed K1 Robot and the 4th Doctor set. That will be up and coming sometime in the early 2022. So keep following the Who merchandise, and I hope you have a very nice Christmas.